I remember my first panic attack like it was yesterday. I was sitting in my freshman English class trying to listen to my teacher go on and on about the book The Odyssey, when all of a sudden I felt a surge of energy burst through the pit of my stomach. I clutched my desk as the room began to spin in circles, and I thought to myself, this is it. This is how I go. I'm only 14 years old, but I don't know what's going on. I didn't know if I was having a brain aneurysm, a heart attack, or a stroke. After what felt like an eternity, my heart started to slow. I felt like I was coming back down to reality, and I immediately looked around the room. Did anyone just see that? How did I just keep that episode all bottled inside? After that day, my body started anticipating that episode would happen, not just every day, but in every single class. For the next year and a half, I became a prisoner to my own mind's power. In that year and a half, I realized how powerful our minds are, and that we always, whatever the situation may be, we always have the choice to think positively or negatively. The start of my sophomore year, I kind of realized that I could not function as a teen. I was getting really bad grades, I was struggling with my social life, and my eating habits were very abnormal. I still did not know what these episodes were, but I wanted to tell my parents. They were the closest people to me, so I thought I could just share these thoughts. I remember sitting both my parents down after dinner one night and telling them how I felt. My dad immediately chimed in and said, "Oh, what you're feeling is how I felt when I was your age. It's called anticipatory anxiety, and it runs in our family." Oh, okay, so I wasn't going crazy. I can't explain to you all how validating it was for me, for my parents, to tell me that, one, it ran in our family, and two, it's not that uncommon, especially for teenagers, to feel the constant pressures, stresses, and triggers. With so many social media outlets like Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, Tumblr, Instagram, like all that stuff, it's so common for all of them to feel like they have to constantly compare themselves and feel like they have to keep up with the latest and greatest trends. According to a Harvard statistic, in 2019, 1 in 3 teenagers will feel what it feels like to have chronic anxiety. Not just one panic attack every 5 years, but chronic, I can't get out of my bed, I have to go home, I'm in fetal position on the floor, I can't move, that kind of anxiety. How do I know all of this? It's because I was that girl. Soon after I talked to my parents, we started seeing a therapist. Truly, starting with a cognitive behavioral therapist changed my life. It led me down a path of trying meditation, exercise, journaling, and really going on that inward search, the mind-body-soul connection of really being like, why do I feel this way? What can I do? What proactive steps can I take every single day to feel better about myself? Soon after, I felt more confident. I had gained more tips and tools, and I just felt like I kind of want to try something new. I started searching teen adventure program, summer camp, something where it involved traveling, meeting new people, and just something different where I could leave my little small town and just see what else is out there. Me and my parents soon came across Rustic Pathways, a teen adventure program that helps young adults travel to different countries and different states and learn, and some do photography, some do community service, some teach children English and math. So I quickly fell in love with the Rebuilding New Orleans program. It just seemed so cool, and New Orleans seemed like a whole other world away. We immediately clicked signed up. But right after that, I could feel my gut feelings starting to go. What if I get sick? What if I can't get to a hospital? What if I make no friends? What if the plane crashes on the way there and I don't even get to enjoy the trip? What if? For the next 3.5 months, those thoughts just went around like a merry-go-round in my head. What if I get sick? What if I die? What if I get heat stroke? Do they have mosquitoes in New Orleans? And if so, can you get malaria? I don't know. I could feel, as the weeks got closer to my departure date, I could feel the anxiety getting more real. I started Googling, what kind of food do they eat there? What should I pack? What's the weather like? Do they speak English? I didn't know. I was only 15. I remember the night before, my parents and I had a going away dinner for me. I couldn't even enjoy the dinner because I was biting my nails the whole time, which at that age for me meant extreme anxiety. I just can't keep it bottled in, so I have to have an outlet, so I'll bite my nails. My parents and my sister looked at me and they said, "What's wrong? You're not even eating your food." And I said, with a good old fake smile, "I'm just thinking about how much fun I'm going to have." Inside, I felt like I was literally dying. That night, I went to bed with a huge pit in my stomach and a heavy heart. How could I do this? I knew none of the teenagers. I was flying across the country alone on a plane. Who was I thinking I am? The next morning, my mom woke me up at 6 a.m. for my flight. She knocked on the door quietly and with a smile greeted me, and the moment I saw her, I started bawling. I lost it. I was like, "I can't go, I'm gonna die." I felt like my lungs were collapsing, my heart was giving out, every muscle in my body was tensing up. I couldn't do it, and I felt like I was letting myself down because I so badly wanted to be this brave, independent young woman, and I was not allowing myself to blossom into that woman that I wanted to be. I felt like I was letting my parents down because they were seeing me so upset after so many months of therapy and exercise and journaling and meditation and really working on my thoughts. They helped me calm myself down. I took 10 deep breaths with them, and they said, "Megan, the choice is up to you, but we really think you should go. We think that you'll be too busy having fun that you won't even have time to be worried." I looked at them, looked at my suitcase, looked at them, and immediately said, "Yes, let's do it, YOLO." I zipped up my suitcase, went for the door, and I remember so vividly looking back at my room and thinking to myself, when I come back in 3 weeks, I'm not going to be the same girl. I closed my door, jumped in my mom's car, and I said, "Let's go to the Oakland airport." Well, they were all right. The 3 weeks went by with a blur. It was a mixture of running around in the French Quarter and eating Cajun food and trying gumbo and jambalaya and po' boys and hearing the Cajun Creole accents and going to swamps and on the airboats and seeing alligators and being like, "What the heck? That's not in California." It was such an amazing time, but one of my favorite parts was rebuilding houses that had been destroyed in Hurricane Katrina in the 9th Ward, and it was one of the most mind-blowing moments of my life at 15 years old to go from the little bubble of a community I grew up in to New Orleans in the 9th Ward to see that from 2007, when Hurricane Katrina actually happened, I went in 2012, and there were still houses boarded up with water in them, the furniture washed out to the side, the windows broken. It really opened my eyes to how gratitude can shift your attitude. And I really learned that life starts at the end of your comfort zone. Even if for one day it's just a baby toe outside your circle, or it's a whole entire leap with your whole body, everything that you all can do every day to push yourself just a little bit further, it so pays off, and it is so worth it. Now, I want to bring it back to 2010, when I was a freshman in high school, with the braces and all. That, to me, when I look at that picture, I was a ball of anxiety, and I so desperately craved a place where I could feel heard and seen for who I truly am. I so craved a place where we could have open conversations about mental health and well-being and loving yourself and following your dreams and what it means to do all of that and how can I take steps to do that. I feel that in 2019, so many teenagers are uneducated about the signs and symptoms of anxiety and mental health and what it means to feel anxious, and maybe I have depression, maybe I have chronic anxiety. How do I know all this? What steps can I take? We need to have more open conversations and let teenagers know that they are not alone. They can make it 5 more minutes, and they can get through it, and they can follow their dreams. Now, this is coming from a girl who used to call her mom crying from the nurse's office every day in high school. I would rush to the nurse's office and pick up the phone and be like, "Okay, Mom," in a low whisper, "Okay, Mom, something's really wrong. This time, it's a stomach ache. It's not a headache. So I Googled it, and I think I'm having appendicitis. Maybe." I was also the girl pinching my hands under the desk just to try to bring my body back down into me and trying to breathe while trying to focus on what my teachers are teaching me and just getting through the day, but without letting other people see. Because to me, that made me feel weak and that I needed help, and that was a bad thing. I was also the girl asking my teachers if I could go to the bathroom when I would just grab the hall pass and walk around just to breathe in fresh air. I never want any teenager to feel how I felt in high school. And I have turned my pain into my purpose, and now I have made it my life mission to have these open conversations, and I create the space wherever I go that I so desperately craved in high school. And something I want to leave you all with is that be the hero of your own story. Thank you so much.